President Martinez, trustees, Superintendent Aquino, and everyone in our San Antonio ISD community. Welcome to the second quarter updates for the SAISD goals and guardrails. My name is Lisa Rosenthal. I am the Director of Accountability and Compliance for San Antonio ISD, and I will be sharing the following presentation with you. Today, we are going to be sharing progress updates for Goal 1, 2, and 3, as well as Guardrail 2 and 4, based on data collected through the mid-year. We will also be sharing a brief overview of the accountability redesign and some projections for the end of the school year. If you need more information or detail on the SAISD board goals and guardrails, please check our website on our board page. Goal 1 is focused on improving reading and writing outcomes for all students. It is broken down 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4 by grade level, and then finally by English 1 performance. Please note that the 2023 goals reflect year-end performance expectations, and the status reflects data that is available at this time through the mid-year. For grade 1, we are looking at Tier 1 performance on the MAP end of year test, and the goal for this year is 41%. Currently, our first graders are showing a Tier 1 performance on the MAP middle of year at 46. So we have met and hopefully exceed at the end of the year the grade 1 expectation. For grade 3, the goal is that 36% of students will hit meets grade level or higher on the STAR test at the end of the year. At this point, only 23% are projected to meets or higher based on the MAP middle of the year projections. Please keep in mind there are two things that you need to know. One is that MAP middle of the year STAR projections tend to underestimate performance on average 5 to 10 percentage points. In addition, the MAP assessments have not been able to be redesigned to reflect the new STAR redesigns that the students will be taking in the spring. That being said, this is the best pieces of data that we have at this time. So at this time, we are not projected to hit that goal. That being said, we're not certain that we will or not. For grade 6, the goal is 32% at meets grade level, and the status at mid-year on the MAP MOI is only 19%. For English 1 students, the goal is 46% at meets grade level or higher, and currently, based on semester exam data, the English 1 students are at 32%. Goal 2 is to improve math outcomes specifically for Black students. Grade 1, similar to reading, is looking at Tier 1 on MAP end of year. The goal this year is 38, and the Tier 1 score for the middle of the year was 43. So again, grade 1 appears to be on track, if not exceeding goal. Grade 3, the goal is 18% at meets grade level at the end of the year. Currently, the MAP MOI STAR projection shows only 7% of students projected to meets grade level or higher at the end of the year. For 6th grade, the goal is 23. At this point, only 10% are projected to meets grade level or higher. And for Algebra 1, again, semester exam is used. 26% are expected to be at meets grade level or higher. And based on semester exams, we are already at 22%. Goal 3 is focused on improving college readiness outcomes for students with disabilities. There are some pieces of information that we can look at to help gauge how close we are to getting where we need to be. For goal 3.1, we're trying to make certain that the grad type codes are assigned properly in advance. At this point, for 2023, our goal is 67% of juniors and seniors with disabilities will earn an advanced diploma. At this time, 78% of juniors and seniors are projected to graduate with an advanced diploma based on their assigned graduation type code. 3.2 focuses on the percent of students with disabilities that are enrolled in dual credit. Our goal this year is that 11% of students will be enrolled in one or more dual credit course. However, at this time in the second semester, only 9% of students with disabilities have been enrolled in one or more dual credit course. 3.3 reflects the percent of students with disabilities who are promoted from grade 9 in a previous year to grade 10 in the current year by semester change. The goal is that 78% of students with disabilities would be promoted from grade 9 in the 2022 school year to grade 10 in 2023 by mid-semester. This year, we are showing that 83% of students with disabilities who were in grade 9 in 2022 have already been promoted to grade 10. Moving on to the guardrails. Guardrail 2 is supporting excellent schools in every single neighborhood. Goal 2.1 reflects our projected accountability ratings. The goal, of course, is that 100% of schools will earn an A, B, or C rating. At this time, and we will talk more about this later, only 58% of schools are projected to a C or higher. 2.2 is the percent of students with an ADA at 95% or higher. Our goal is that 62% of students with ADA at or above 95%, sorry. Right now, only 32% of current students have an ADA of 95% or higher. 2.3 includes an increase on the average school re-enrollment. The goal is that 77% of students who are in pre-K through 11 would re-enroll the following year. Right now, we are showing that 83% of students who are in grades pre-K through 11 in SASD in 2022 re-enrolled in 2023. Guardrail 4 focuses on equitable funding, and specifically 4.3 reflects an increase in school size at each level or type of school by 5%. Based on the average number of students in 22 and the average number of students in 2023, early childhood centers have already increased more than 11%. High schools and elementaries have shown an increase, but slightly less than 5%, while middle schools and academies have shown a slight drop. Moving on to accountability. We are going to talk about some basics in the redesign updates, in the ways that districts and campuses are evaluated, and then I will share with you some early state rating projections. The first thing that you need to know about the new accountability redesign is that the state has significantly changed the way in which districts are measured. Prior to this year, district performance was a mirror of campus performance. So basically, on domain 1, if we were looking at approaches, meets, and masters, graduation rate, and CCMR for a high school, we simply rolled all of those scores up to the district level and found and created a district level score. Beginning this year, we will use a new methodology that is based on proportional domain ratings. Rather than rating the district on overall performance, they will rate every single campus, and then every campus, based on the number of students and the percent of students that they represent for the district, their scores will be added up to create an overall district score. In the example on the screen is a district with 10,000 students and 5 campuses. The first campus has 4,000 students, which is 40% of the overall district. Their Domain 1 score is a 72. Their Domain 2A score is a 75. Their Domain 2B score is an 83. And their Domain 3 score is a 64. If you apply the best of Domain 1, 2A, or B as 70% and Domain 3 as 30%, you get an overall campus rating of C. For the district, the Domain 1 scale score of 72 is multiplied times 40% for 28.8. The 2A score is multiplied times 40% for 30, and the Domain 2B and the Domain 3 scores are also multiplied times the 40%. The similar calculations are done for B, C, D, and E campuses. And then all of the points earned by the individual campuses are added up, therefore creating for this district a Domain 1 score of 64, a Domain 2A score of 66, a Domain 2B score of 72, and a Domain 3 score of 61. Since we continue to take the best of 1 or 2A or 2B, the highest score would be a 72. That's worth 70% of the score. Domain 3 is a 61. It is worth 30%. Those two scores are added together for a total of 69. A 69 is a rating of D for this district. Domain 1 has changed as well. There are new cut scores for graduation and for CCMR. The biggest change is for CCMR. In prior years, districts and campuses needed to score a 60 in order to be scaled to an A. At this point, they need to be scaled, they need to reach an 88 in order to reach an A. That is a very large difference and is having a significant impact on our accountability for high schools. Please keep in mind that this is going into effect immediately. In other words, it's going into effect for the 2023 school year, and the graduation rate for the 2023 school year will be the class of 2022, 2021, and 2020. And the CCMR is for 2022 graduates. Domain 2 is also changing their methodology. Instead of going from scale score to scale score, they're now looking at how students did in terms of current performance level and previous year performance level. This new method most significantly allows for growth comparison from grades 7 or 8 to English 1, and for students moving from Spanish to English or English to Spanish. In prior years, students taking English 1 or students changing language were excluded from growth calculations. They will be included this year. The cut scores have changed somewhat, but not as significantly as others. In addition, the Texas Education Agency will allow bonus points for accelerated students or accelerated learners. Those are students who have moved simply from not passing to passing. So previous failers who are now passing get a bonus of 0.25 or 1/4 of a point. Domain 3, closing the gaps. There are new targets, cut scores, and methodology. They have redesigned the way in which our groups work. Rather than having multiple groups, they now have a focus group, which combines a unique count of students that are ECODIS, SPED, emergent bilingual, or current or monitored, or mobile, which includes both homeless, migrant, and foster. They still do have student groups that are former special ed and continuously enrolled, but those are only used for the CCMR or STAR indicators only. Another significant change is that they've gone from a 0 or 1 possible scale for each indicator to a scale of 0 to 4 points. In the past, if you met the interim target, you got your point. If you didn't meet the interim target, you got no points. Now they have revised the long-term and interim targets, and campuses can earn 4 points for meeting or exceeding a long-term target, 3 points for meeting the target, 2 points for moving significantly toward the next interim target, or simply improving gets 1 point. Not improving or moving backwards does not earn any points. Mid-year accountability rating projections are based on a mix of both quantitative and qualitative data. They are evaluated by their area superintendents and the educational systems analysis in the data operations and services department. For quantitative data, we reviewed MAP beginning and middle of the year performance, MAP beginning and middle of the year STAR projections, semester exam results, and attendance rates. For quantitative, among other things, we looked at teacher and administrative changes, campus and class observations, and campus culture. SAISD at this point is projected to earn a C or D rating overall. Our campus counts in bold indicate A, B, C, D, and F for the past couple of years, and our mid-year projections. Please note that some of the mid-year projections are too close to call and are listed as AB, BC, CD, or DF. And depending whether you want to go to the best case scenario or the worst case scenario, those can be rounded either up or down for a better idea. Please note that there were no ratings assigned for 2020 or 2021. In 2022, 10 campuses were rated not rated because they scored below 70, and 6 campuses were simply not rated because they are not the type of campuses that are rated. In 2023, right now, 84 campuses are projected to be rated between A and F, and there are 16 campuses that are either not rated, are still to be paired, or are AEA, and we are still developing the AEA plan for this year. Please note that in 2023, we are receiving data at a much slower timeline than we normally do. This January, TEA released new targets and scale scores, and that is what we used to put together our projections. In May, we will get a final accountability manual and rulings from the state. In June, TEA will release EOC results, graduation, and CCMR rates for the class of 22 or 22 grads, respectively. In August, specifically on August 15th, TEA will release grade 3 through 8 results. We will not have grade 3 through 8 results until the 15th of August. Because of this delay, TEA will not release state ratings until September. A quick note, next month, for the board meeting, our department will be providing CCMR updates, which are focused on Goal 3 and Guardrail 2. They will include detailed updates on TSI, APIB performance, dual credit enrollments, on-ramps, and industry-based certifications. Thank you very, very much for your time and attention. This concludes our second quarter goal and guardrail updates.